Folks, you know what they say, if it sounds too good to be true, I'll get into that. And then the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending July the 3rd, 2024. If it sounds too good to be true, we're seeing a lot of that situation these days with the market the way it is. I've been working with this one buyer couple, and the area that they're looking in tends to have about half the properties being offered with a pricing strategy where there's an offer night. So they list it lower to attract people, and the whole idea is that buyers compete on offer night. Well, there was this one property that came up in the neighborhood that they like. Price was good. Photos were great. I'm looking at this thinking, wow. And I thought for sure when I continue reading down the listing, there's going to be an offer night. And there wasn't. And I thought, I'm still kind of thinking, yeah, it can't be. They probably are listing it low with an offer night. Without the offer date, but still expect more. So I called the listing agent, kind of get her idea as to what the pricing strategy is. And sure enough, her attitude was, we didn't want to do an offer night. We've listed it traditionally. The seller would like to be around that price, but they're not necessarily expecting a bidding war. And I thought, yes, this is great. This is what we want. We book a few showings in that area with my clients. That's one of the houses. I'm going out of my way to tell my clients, I can't wait to show you this one. I'm excited about this one. We go. What a letdown. The photos were way better than what we saw in reality. And in fact, once we saw the condition of the home and the workmanship that was put in the home with some of these updates that they were advertising, it all needed to be redone. And I thought, this home is at least 100, maybe 150,000 overpriced, where originally from the listing I thought it was maybe a good deal. Now I'm thinking, man, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I see social media advertising. They're advertising a 3,000 square foot detached home. They list all these updates, big garage, big yard, big lot. I'm thinking, wow, this is exciting. An amazing price. And you keep reading and you read the name of the town that it's in. It's a town I haven't even heard of. I don't know where this place is. I've got to Google the name of the town that it's in. Maybe a dozen people live there. Maybe it's halfway up the Thunder Bay. I've never heard of this town. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. In the market today, with the abundance of inventory that's out there, you're going to find sellers and their listing agents with so much competition, homes competing with other properties for sale. Some people get creative. Some people get too creative, almost on the verge, or will be misleading, and you don't get the whole story. If it sounds too good to be true, in this market, you've got to be extra vigilant and really check the fine details. I've seen properties where you look at the price and you look at the square footage and you think, wow, that's a decent price. That's a pretty good price. But when you do your homework as a realtor and you figure out, actually, that square footage is wrong. It's not maybe just above grade, or it's just totally wrong to begin with. It's not such a good deal anymore. You got to be careful. People will advertise all sorts of things. They'll say new kitchen. We've come across this so many times recently. Excuse me. Kitchen, new kitchen. And when you get there, countertop is new. The sink is new. The cupboards have been painted. It's the original cupboards that were there. They were just painted, which is nothing wrong with that. But that's how it should be promoted and advertised, not as a new kitchen, because that changes the whole price point. A new kitchen, 30, 40, 50, 60,000. A refurbished kitchen, 15,000, 10,000 is a big difference in value. Same thing with bathrooms. They'll say new bathrooms. They're not. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. do the research, especially in this market. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video in the description, there's a link. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, we have listed for sale a really nice townhouse. It's large, 4 bedrooms, backs onto a ravine. Check out the video at the end of this video. Let's have a look at what's going on with prices. So we're focused on Peel and Durham region. We're going to look at Mississauga, Brampton, and for Durham, we're going to use Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as the Durham region. And we're looking at detached properties only. Between Brampton, average price of $1,120,000, in Mississauga, average price of $1,516,000. There's almost a $400,000 price difference in average sold price. We're going to start off with Mississauga. 38 detached properties were sold. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Now, so sales are down over the previous week. Before that, if we look at the last 4 weeks, we can go back further and say the last 8 weeks, but we kind of ignore the 1 week that's a little higher. Sales have been between 46 and 51, fairly consistent over the last 7 or 8 weeks. This week, week ending July 3rd, sales are down. 38 were sold, but it was a long weekend, and we see it often where the long weekend, there's a big reduction in sales. And if we look at the previous long weekends before that, 46, yeah, sales are down from what we were selling before. The previous long weekend sales were 38, sales are a bit lower. So that's what we normally see on long weekends. Average sold price did climb up a bit from the previous week to $1,516,000. Overall, though, I would say that average sold prices are trending down for Mississauga. Compared to last year, 1,516 is 5% lower. The median price is also 5% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average, kind of shows that average price and median prices are trending down in Mississauga. Again, this is just for detached properties. 38 were sold, 34% sold at list price or more. That percentage is pretty consistent, actually. 118 were listed. Listings is trending down. Active listings, although 1 week to the next, the current week we're in now, it is a bit lower from the previous week. Overall, trending up. And basically what we're saying, I'm going to go back, if 38 were sold, but there's 672 available for sale, well, on this week, 5.7% of all available listings of detached properties are selling. 5.7%. Months of inventory climbing. It's now sitting at 4.1 months of inventory. And as months of inventory climb, average prices tend to trend down. Here's Brampton. 48 detached properties were sold. 1 of those was at $2 million or more. I've said for many of these shows that I'm doing this week, for week ending July 3rd being a long weekend, and I've noted that sales has come down in these areas. It's not the case for Brampton. We really don't see much of a change on the long weekends. Average sold price did come down from the previous week to $1,120,000. Average price for Brampton detached properties trending down. Compared to last year, 1,120 is 9% lower, and the median price is basically the same, no percentage change over last year. 48 sold, a third, 33% sold at list price or more. Listings, 185 were listed. Looked like listings were coming down, but they're up a little bit. Active listings growing, 5.4% of all active listings are selling on a weekly basis. And months of inventory climbing. We're now at 4.3 months of inventory. And the normal behavior of months of inventory and price is this. As months of inventory climb, average prices tend to come down. The opposite is true. As months of inventory go down, prices tend to go up. Here is Durham. Now I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 31 detached properties were sold for week ending July 3rd. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price way down to $1,067,000. $1,067,000 is 12% lower than what it was this time last year. The median price is 9% lower. Average prices and median price look like they're trending down, but only slightly. 31 were sold, 42% sold at list price or more. That percentage is down than what we normally see in the Durham region. Listings are down, active listings down from the previous week, but overall trending up. And months of inventory, it was trending up, but 1 week to the next, because sales were so much lower, months of inventory jumped up to 3.5 months of inventory. I'm going to say never, but it's been a long time since we've seen 3.5 months of inventory in Durham region. I don't know how accurate that number is because of the long weekend could have affected the sales. So over the next few weeks, we'll see where we're at. Excuse me. Here's a summary. Now I did put months of inventory versus a year ago. There's a big contrast. Mississauga a year ago today was 2.4. It's now 4.1. Brampton, pretty much the same, 4.5, 4.3. Durham, 1.5. It's now 3.5. And condos for Peel region was 3. It's now 8.6. Thanks for watching. Now check out the awesome townhouse I described earlier. Videos coming up. You're about to see 29 Oleana Way in Brampton. This is a large 4-bedroom townhouse over 2,300 square feet, and it still has room for a large office. It's a modern home, and the lot, big lot, backs onto a forest. Have a look.